Hi y'all! So this is like, I don't even know how many videos I've taken at this point. If you hear music playing in the background, that's just to calm my own nerves. Vlogging is not something I'm used to. I don't like having pictures taken of me, so videoing myself is really not something I want to do. But I figured it's probably a way easier way to get in contact with everybody and a easier way to let everybody know what's going on. So, blogging for me is not a hard thing. I'm an English major. It's what I do. I love English. I love writing. Everything you see on the wall behind me, all those little pieces of paper or little poems or notes I've wrote to myself just to kind of remind myself of things. I've got a full chalkboard wall full of stuff. Like, there are countless journals in my room just filled with story ideas and things. So blogging isn't a challenge for me. It's really easy. It just comes naturally. But I figured, why not challenge myself a little? Let's say we're gonna vlog. Because I really feel like this whole experience is about challenging myself to grow more as a person, as a Christian, and just in general. So it's like fundraising, for example. I have never been comfortable asking for any kind of help in my life. You can ask anyone in my family. I will hurt myself trying to move something before I'll be like, hey, can I get some help doing this? Or I had an apartment at one point and I continuously lived on $10 for 2 weeks because I didn't want to ask for help. It was not a smart idea. I would not recommend it to anyone. I had a lot of things going on at the time, but it's just who I am. I'm not someone that does that kind of stuff. So to be writing letters and contacting churches, contacting individuals, and trying to raise money so that I can do this, it's hard. And the scriptures I've been given to remind me that this is something I really need to do. It's something that God wants. He doesn't want us to have to struggle to do this kind of stuff. It's something that we're supposed to help each other do. So being reminded of that through the scripture is amazing, and I'm so thankful to AIM for having such great resources for us to use in our fundraising journeys and just keeping in contact with us and making sure that we're in a good path, that we feel good about what we're doing, that we're going in the right direction. It's great. As of today, it probably won't show up on my blog yet, I am at $5,000. And I might cry saying this. That is because of a very special and very wonderful couple that I grew up going to church with in Clarksville. The Clarks always, I think I started going to church there when I was 8 or 9, but for the 11 years I went to church there, 11 or more, they acted as grandparents to me. They took my whole family in. They made sure we were doing good. We were invited to their house for dinners. They loved on us kids, made sure everything was going good in our lives. When I was baptized, the only people I told, because I'm not a showy person, if you don't know me or haven't been able to tell already, I'm not a showy person. I don't like being in front of people, don't like people looking at me. So I told my family, my dad was the one to baptize me actually as a preacher. I told the preacher of our church, and he and his wife were there. And then I told the Clarks. And so it was like having my parents, my second dad, and mom, honestly, because they were so close. We were all so close. And then having my surrogate grandparents there, all watching me be baptized. And Mrs. Joan, the wife in this group, she was the one to hug me as soon as I got out of the baptistry. She wrapped me up in a towel and a warm hug, and I can still remember that, and I'm so thankful to her for how much she's led me along my journey since becoming a Christian, and just how wonderful she's been. This morning, I went to a friends and family day at that church, and I went just to see everybody because we haven't gone in a while. We left that church about 3 years ago now and started going to church in Charleston. And she gave me a huge hug. She went to get Mr. Jim. And when she came back, she had a check for me. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I cried when she handed me the check because this check was for $2,000. And she did want to pay for the entire rest of the trip, and I told her to let me fundraise because it's something I need to do. And she said, that's fine, but in June, if I still needed the money, she was taking care of it because she said, this is something that she knows that I'm going to do. She knows I'm going to be great at it. She wants me to be able to share the word and to share Jesus and not have to worry about finances, which I love her for. I love them so much. They're just all around wonderful people, and it's thinking on that all day today has really opened my eyes to how much I've grown in the last month of joining the race and getting on this fundraising journey, because at the start of this I was not sure I was going to be able to raise this amount of money. I mean, it's a lot of money, but through my ability to go talk to people and how much everybody loves what we're going to be doing and loves just the ability we have to go to all these countries. It's been amazing. It's been wonderful. I can't wait to see what happens over the next few months. Right now, things have been kind of crazy for me, which is why I've not blogged so much. So, the last 2 weeks, I worked really hard making 180 cheesecakes. They were individual sized little cheesecakes that I sold as a fundraiser, and let me tell y'all, that was a lot to make. And I delivered them all from one side from Little Rock. I went all the way to Fort Smith, so it was a full day of just driving and dropping off cheesecakes and thanking everybody for helping out. And along with that, I was selling chocolate covered strawberries and gummy tackle boxes, and just the amount of response and outpouring and people donating extra because they loved the idea of what I was doing and that I was working to make the money. It was just amazing. And right now, as I said, I'm working on more things like the cookies. That's another thing that's kind of down the road a little bit, my Easter plans maybe. But coming up on the 14th of March, I have a benefit spaghetti dinner in my hometown in the fairgrounds, and I've got my brother who's going to play some music for me, some friends I've been talking to about playing music and just entertaining. I've got silent auctions. Businesses are just handing me donations of things to auction off. It's great. And the amount of people who've just said, yeah, I'll be there, I'll help. What do you need me to do? It's amazing to me, and it's overwhelming that everybody's trusted me so much with this, and I just want to thank you all for that. And thank you, because honestly, without everybody's support and love along this, I would not be able to do this. It's really something that I've wanted to do for years. I mean, I can remember, I talked to my mom about this. Sorry, gotta move the camera. I remember the first time I went to the Tulsa workshop. I sat with my mom, and AIM had this thing they did where all of their missionaries came out, and they had flags from the countries that they had gone to, and they all sat in rows, and people talked about the mission trips they had gone on and everything like that. And I just remember looking at my mom as this maybe 10-year-old girl, hadn't been baptized yet. I just knew, though. I looked at her and I said, Mom, I'm gonna do that someday. I wanna go. I wanna do this. And she said, okay, honey. Okay, let's calm down though right now. You're really little. And that happened every single year. I'd tell my mom, Mom, this is what I want to do. I remember once I had been baptized, I looked at my mom and I said, Mom, I'm serious. I was 13 at the time. I said, Mom, I'm serious. I want to work in the mission field. This is something I feel a calling for. And somehow in the craziness of going through high school, which I was homeschooled, so it was a little bit less crazy, but getting a job, starting work, I lost that calling, and I lost the voice telling me that I had to go, this is what I had to do. And last fall, in August actually, I saw the world race pop up on my Facebook timeline, and I was like, well, that's odd. I've never heard of that before. So I started looking at it, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And I left, and I came back a couple weeks later, and I was like, okay, this is really neat though. And I did that for a couple months, and then in October I looked at my dad and I said, Dad, I want to go. I said, this is what I've wanted to do for years, and this is amazing. This is a trip that I'll be gone for 11 months. I'll be doing God's work. I'll be helping people. I'll be actually doing it. And he said, okay, but that's a long time. Maybe find a shorter trip. And my mom, when I told her, no, I think that's too long. I think we need to find a shorter trip. But God knew what he was doing, y'all. And in the next 2 weeks, my parents warmed up to the idea, and just me persistently telling them, no, this is what I need to do. I said, I've been praying about it. I've been looking into it. I've been reading the Bible. I said, this is what I need to do. And eventually I got them on board, and they both said, okay, if this is what you're being led to, if this is what you need to do, we'll support you, we'll help you, we'll do whatever we can. And so I sent in my application, and 2 weeks later I had a phone call and I'd been accepted, and it was just an amazing experience. And this whole thing has been wonderful, and I cannot thank everyone enough for everything they've been doing. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know it's really long. I didn't expect it to be this long. But thank you. Let me know if you have any questions. Put some comments on this. Anything like that. I love you all. Thank you. I'll talk to you later.